default microphone. Okay, that is now giving me sound. Huh. Not sure why that is. Okay, well, I think my sound is about right. It may be peaking a little bit too high. You guys let me know how you're hearing me, if you're hearing me okay. But it looks like the sound should be about right now. I'm actually getting sound, so that's a good thing. Let me know how you guys are faring out there, if you can hear me. Okay, I now have a much better live picture. So I think now we're good to go. Sorry about that. My microphone, for some reason, my Open Broadcaster Studio chose to find a different, trying to use a microphone that didn't exist. Anyway, I think I am now live, and I think you guys are now hearing me, although up to now, for the first couple of minutes, I don't think you were. So I'll start over again. Good evening from a very warm, calm, and beautiful Death Valley evening. We got some great things here. This is galaxy season now, and what that means is up in the sky here, if we look at my planetarium, this is the Big Dipper here, and between the Big Dipper and the constellations of Leo the Lion up here and Virgo down here, there are all these orange and red ovals, and these are all galaxies. And during the spring months of March, April, May, even into June, these are nice and high in the sky. And so we're going to be looking at a bunch of galaxies tonight, and that means the mono camera is in. Thanks, Joel. Thanks for letting me know everything sounds okay now. I did have I did have some issues there at the very beginning for some reason. Broadcast Studio decided to try and use a microphone that wasn't there. Anyway, so what I'm going to do tonight is probably just start. So we're going to spend the next several sessions looking at many, if not all, of these galaxies here. And for tonight, I think we're just going to start out here, just outside of Ursa Major, the Big Dipper. We'll start looking at a couple of these guys out here. We'll just start randomly with that one. NGC 2976. So let's send the scope over to that. And we can get rid of this. And see if we can't find, oh yeah, there it is, just a little smudgy spot right there. So let's see if I can't bring this into the view. That same little error message keeps popping up. Still haven't gotten any word from the developer why that keeps popping up. But hopefully I can get him a good log message that will send him the logs that can hopefully show what that is. Maybe it's a driver issue of some kind. Alright, keep coming. You can come over there. Try and put it right about in the middle. That's probably about right. Let it settle here for a second. Come on. There we go. Now you're caught up. Okay. Let's see. What we can see with a 60-second exposure on this first galaxy. Okay, and while it's doing that, let's make sure we've got our enhancements set here. Make things look as sharp as possible. I'm not sure why that didn't clear. Okay, well, I'm not sure. This is a new version of the software. I'm using beta software here, and I have been for some weeks now, of SharpCap, which is the image capture software. And so every time I get one, every time I get the new version, it seems to work a little bit different. Okay. So there's our first image, and I am not seeing a galaxy in here at all, but wow. We've got a lot of blacks clipped. So, there it is. Get the histogram adjusted and it will pop into view a little bit better. Yeah, and there it is. Okay. So let's give this a minute to get itself set up, and this is NGC 2976. So let's see what Wikipedia has to say about NGC. NGC 2976, dwarf galaxy. A peculiar dwarf galaxy in Ursa Major, discovered by William Herschel in 1801. It's a member of the M81 group. So M81, yeah, so there's a whole grouping of galaxies in here, including M81 and M82. And so these are all part of a cluster of the same galaxies, probably all gravitationally involved with each other and orbiting each other, just as we have a local group around the Milky Way, which includes the Andromeda Galaxy and the Triangulum Galaxy, or M33, and a number of other galaxies. The M81 group is also a group that is kind of local to each other. Okay, I think now we can probably turn the background music on a little bit. And let me know if oh yeah, that's going to be too loud. Come on. I think that's about right. Seems to me about there is about right. Let me know how the sound levels are, you guys. Let me know if you can hear me well enough, if the background music is there, but you can hear it, but it's not too loud. For some reason, all of my audio settings in Open Broadcaster Studio have decided to reset themselves. And so, just let me know how the sound levels are for both me and the background music. Thanks, Ted. Yeah, well, I appreciate you being here. It is a bit of work getting all this set up and getting it all working, but it's worth it. I'm going to turn my volume up because I think my volume needs to be up now. Oops, wrong one. That is the wrong one. This is my volume. There we go. I think this is where I need to be, is up like that. Okay. Yeah, so let me know again how that is. I think mine needs to be full volume and the background music needs to be lower. So let me know if all that sounds about right. This is the way it is. I think yesterday I did hours of updating on this computer, and Windows updated, just forever updating things. So I think some things kind of reset on me here. So kind of making it up on the fly as I go. But this is NGC 2976. Okay, so it's a member of the M81 group. It's an unbarred spiral with very tightly wound spiral arms. Yeah, you can see in here we've got just barely start making out some of the really tight spiral arms in here. fact, don't want to make it too boosted. I think that's about right. If I make it any more, it'll be kind of grainy. And it is a fairly warm night here, so I may need to check my focus more frequently. Usually I don't need to check it more than about once or twice. Usually once in an evening I will check my focus. But it was a really warm day, and so the scope was pretty warm when I put it outside. And we've got some... Yeah, we've got some frames some subs being rejected here because they're pretty noisy. So I think, again, this is probably an indication that my focus is off a little bit. So I may just end up having to redo my focus. Yeah, it's now ignoring all frames. All of my subs are being ignored here, so I may actually have to stop this and go to slew to a bright star, because I think my focus is just off. These stars are looking kind of blurry here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I am going to turn off the live stack. Go to 1 second on this, and let's in fact go to the next target, and let's go to the nearest bright star here. Yeah, Dubé is probably good, and I'll slew to that real quick, and we'll check the focus. I'll put the Batinov mask on and we'll just check the focus real quick, because I think we're just getting... Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Let me get the focus dialed in, because I think it's pretty well out. Okay. I'm going to put it on mute here and go put the mask on and check the focus. Okay, yeah, the focus was definitely off a little bit. So let's see if this doesn't improve things for us. Okay. Another challenge is that looking at these objects that are very much in the northern sky, the scope is actually literally upside down. So the focuser that's holding the camera is actually pointed at the ground, which is a little bit awkward. So it's that also changes things a bit. Okay, let's zip you over here again. Yeah. There we go. And we'll kind of bring you up a little bit. There we go. And we should, yeah, these stars are looking a lot sharper now. Okay, I think that's about right. So let's restart the imaging on this. Okay, good. Alright, let's start on another one. And while this is going along, I think I'll take the opportunity here to show you my setup. So, sorry about the overexposed picture. It didn't look this bad when I took it, but looking at it on a computer screen now, it doesn't look so good. But I'm using a 6-inch f4 imaging Newtonian, a simple reflector telescope here, and that's where this is the eyepiece holder here where the camera is stuck in, and it's all riding on a Celestron Evolution AltAz mount that is on a Celestron HD Wedge that keeps it polar aligned, and all of it is sitting on my homemade cinder block pier, and the cinder block portion and the wedge portion stay outside, all permanently polar aligned, and everything else goes inside for the night. So the scope and the mount go inside for the night, but the wedge and the cinder block mount just stay outside. I'll cover them up, and they'll stay outside for the permanently polar aligned. So I don't have to do a polar alignment every night, which saves me a whole lot of time during my setup. Yes, this is looking a whole lot better. The stars are much sharper, and now we're actually seeing quite a bit more detail in here as well. So this is a whole lot better than what we were seeing before. Yeah, and now look at the FWHM numbers are half or less than what they were before. So this is much better. Much, much better. So let's kind of push the stretch a little bit, and it's also less noisy, which is nice. And you can see we've got a satellite that has photobombed its way through here. But we'll give this a couple of minutes. Galaxies are nice things to spend a little bit of time on. I like to spend probably about 10 minutes or so on each one, depending on how big and how bright it is. But they're so distant and so faint that spending a little bit of time on them is pretty nice. So let's see. So we know this is part of the M81 group. So probably gravitationally combined, this whole little group of galaxies here, and these two here are M81 and M82, which are the biggest and brightest galaxies in this group. In fact, we'll probably go and do those as well, because those are pretty cool ones to look at. In fact, I think I can get both of them in one view. So they're all gravitationally bound together, and so this is part of that group. Let's see what else have we got to... there's a cloud of neutron gas located to the northeast of this galaxy. What I was trying to see is how far away it is. Distance is going to be about 12 million light years. So that's not very far away. That's definitely in terms of galaxies, that is definitely one of our more local guys. And you can see you've got some of the arms starting to form in here, and some pockets, some bright pockets of gases and star formations probably in there. Yeah, now all of our subs are stacking just like they're supposed to. That's a good thing. Let's make sure my enhancements stuck. And then they did. Good. Excellent, excellent. And the FWHM numbers are, well, they're still climbing, but still okay. They will do. But you can see there are definitely some gas pockets in here. And the actual visual form is a pure disk with no spiral arms or bulge. The luminosity and size of this galaxy is midway between large and small Magellanic clouds. Although appearing as a disk, there is evidence for a non-asymmetric form of gas distribution with a suggestion of central bar plus large-scale spiral arms. The inner structure contains many dark lanes and stellar condensations in its disk. Yeah, so the stellar condensations are these bright spots that we can see in here, which are probably bright areas of lots of heavy star formation. There are two strong hydrogen beta regions, one to each side. The overall star formation rate is a number I don't understand. The outer disk shows a history of steady star formation, although the formation rate has declined significantly over the last billion years, and the population is now dominated by older stars. Cool. Yeah, it looks like a fairly well-bound one, regardless of anything else, and not a whole lot of arms and things sticking off it. Now, one thing I do notice about this the newest beta version of SharpCap here is that there used to be another little box of information down here in the bottom right that would tell me how many of my sub-exposures have stacked and not. Basically, this information was down there. And now it seems to have disappeared. I actually have to come into the LiveStack window to see that information. It used to be down here. I don't know why it has gone away, but it seems to have. And that's a bummer. Hopefully it won't stay away. I can probably make you go away too. And even go a little bit bigger. Just get the whole star field in there. Oh, there it is. When I put the window up full size, it comes in. So apparently what I have the window set to is just a little bit too small to have that little pane of information show up. That's too bad. But you can see now definitely a little spiral arms in here. Again, like it said, very tightly bound, but you can see there's definitely some traces of arms in here in this galaxy. And at only 12 million light years away, to have it be this small, that's why it's a dwarf galaxy. It's not a very big one, because 12 million light years is pretty close for as far as galaxies are concerned. In fact, right down here there's a nice little smudge in here, which you guys can't see because it's off your screen. But it's another just faint little galaxy that's really, really faint. Push that stretch a little bit for you guys to see a little bit better. And we'll give this about another minute, and then we'll move on to the next one. About 10 minutes of time for each one is about ideal, I've found. Some nice definition, though. Definitely looks like a platter on its... looking at the edge of a platter. It's actually surprisingly round looking. With sharper edges than I would have expected. So it's a pretty compact galaxy. Okay, and there's 10 minutes. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go into our sequencer and get ready for our next target. Okay, and let's also synchronize on that. So we're right on there, and let's add it. Okay, oops, and I need to also add it. Okay. Good. And let's go down to, well, M81 and M82. I think I can get these, like I said, I think I can get both of these in one view. Let's see if I'm right. Seems to me I have done that with the 533. Yeah, see, there they are. Ha! Oh, and there's a satellite photobombing us again. It's unfortunate that the camera is just slightly sideways, but I think right about there should do it. Yeah, let's just do that. That's about perfect right there. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get M81 and M82 right there together. So these are kind of the parents of this whole group, what's called the M81 group of galaxies, which is all of these guys in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly even 3359 is a member of this group of galaxies that are in here. And so we'll do the two biggest ones now. And then we'll probably head to the other side of Ursa Major and start working on the whole string of galaxies that are going across there. Because there's a whole string of all of these going right across the sky that we'll be able to spend some time doing here over probably the next several sessions. We'll just do a bunch of galaxy hunting, which is kind of my favorite thing to do. Galaxies I think are just amazingly cool objects. And yeah, there we go. Boom, look at that. M81 on the bottom and M82, or the cigar galaxy, on the top. You see two very, very different looking shapes there. But a couple of pretty spectacular galaxies that were discovered by Charles Messier when he was building his catalog of things that were bright objects but were not comets, because he was a comet hunter. So we'll give this a couple of minutes to build some sub-exposures in. Boom. Love it when that second sub-exposure comes in. It's so dramatic how much the sky darkens in the background and how much the objects brighten. It's really quite startling even. Now in this case, the M82, the one up top here, is so much brighter than M81. M81 is much more diffuse, much more spread out, what's called lower surface brightness. It's a much larger but more spread out light pattern, whereas M82 is a very intense and compact amount of brightness. And so seeing the two of them in one exposure, you have to it's kind of hard to get them both optimally in one exposure, because what works for one doesn't work so well for the other. But well, we're going to do it anyway, so maybe I can actually adjust the histogram for one and then the other and show you the difference. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, these are some of the big bright ones. You know, what most of the galaxies that we'll be hunting over these next few sessions will be much smaller and less detailed. But these two are, M81 and M82, are definitely some of the big spectacular ones. Not quite as spectacular, of course, as Andromeda and Triangulum and the ones that are really close to us, just 2 or 3 billion light years away. These are more like 10, 12 a million light years, million light years away. So they're quite a bit further out and a bit smaller. But still, they're spectacular. I don't know if you guys can see, but right over here, there's a little smudge of light. And that, I believe, is Holmberg 9, which is a very faint galaxy that is part of the Holmberg catalog. I believe that's what it is right there. Let's see if I can probably push the stretch a little bit more. You can see it a little bit better. It's just a puff of light right there. And we've got another galaxy actually over here. In fact, let's just go full frame here. You gotta see these a little better. Just gotta be careful I don't expand it so much that there's Ted says there's a fuzzball forming a triangle with M82 at the apex. Okay, I think you were talking about this one here, this little tiny galaxy, Ted. I think that's what you were talking about out here. Yeah, I can go a little bit bigger. I think this is the one you were talking about here. This is a galaxy here. That definitely is a little fuzzy spot. Yep. I'm assuming that's what you were talking about. That's really the only thing I really see in there. It's this tiny little galaxy here. In fact, we can probably go into Stellarium and see if we can see what it is. Now see, this is upside down because my scope is upside down, so I can do that. No, wrong one. I did that, not that one. That one. Yeah, so this is M82 on top. Oh, let me plug that in. So M82 on top, and then somewhere to the right, so M82 on top, M81 on the bottom, and then there's a little tiny galaxy right there. And so it's going to be somewhere in here. So let me turn on, or turn off, I guess I should say, the filters. and see what comes up. Yeah, see, there's a few, and I think it's probably this one here. I think it's probably PGC 28848. And that is a Mag 15-3 galaxy. So that is what that's PGC 28848, is this one right here. And then down here, is this the Holmberg? No, it's not. There is a Holmberg galaxy here somewhere. No, I don't think you're it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's on the inside. Ooh, wait. Okay, you know what? I got this backwards. Because this is also like this. Right, that's what we're looking at. Okay. So the fuzzy one that you saw, Ted, the thing that's out here, is this one here. It's PGC 28225, which is a magnitude 15.6 galaxy. And then Holmberg 9, the little fuzzy spot, is this one here, which is right there. So because my scope right now is a Newtonian reflector, and it's currently, because it's pointing at the northern sky, it's upside down on the wedge. So everything is upside down, and everything is flipped and inverted. So it's you basically got to tell Stellarium to flip and invert itself, and then everything looks right. But then when you scroll out and go to look at the sky, everything looks crazy. But that is what those are. Those are all galaxies in there. That's Holmberg 9, and this is the PGC, which is the Peculiar Galaxies Catalog, which is what PGC stands for. That's what this one here is. So we've actually got at least 4 galaxies in this image. There's actually more here. There's actually another one out here, which is somewhere up in here. How far away is that? It's going to be in here somewhere. There's another galaxy apparently in here somewhere, although I don't see it. Somewhere up in here. I'm not seeing it, but oh well. But there's M81 and M82. Let me see if I can actually... we'll take a look at M82 here. See if I can actually back off on the stretch a little bit. You can start to see that there's some shape here. You start to see some of the detail in this galaxy, where there's a little bit of... There actually are jets coming out of this, but there's actually quite a bit of detail in this galaxy. When you just spend time on it and optimize for it, it's an interesting and intense looking galaxy. But in order to do that, you have to basically you make a lot of the detail of M81 go away to make this one look good. And in color, this actually looks pretty good too. We're using the mono tonight, but the color actually looks pretty good. But anyway, for most of what we're going to be shooting for tonight, it's going to be fuzzy stuff and faint stuff, so we'll stick with that. But there's 10 minutes on M81 and M82, actually 11. So I think we'll just head back over and do next target. We'll head back over and we will do, yeah, so M81, and we'll go Alt B and add it, and M82, and we'll add it. Yeah, we'll highlight those, and we'll I can remove that. Definitely don't need that one. Okay. And we also saw No. Oh yeah, and I have to reset. No, 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 not F3, F2. Ah. Okay, you go away, and you go away. Okay. Yeah, and so what was the first one we did? Oh, and I have also, I need to reflip all of this. Yeah, we did 2976. So let's mark that one because we have also seen that one. And this way we'll keep track of all the ones that have the blue circles we've already seen. So let's start back over this away. See, this one is. Yeah, well, we're gonna just go over to out to the outside of. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to this one. NGC 3953. Looks like just a little fuzzball. So may not be a whole lot to see here. Let's see. Again, let's do flip it and invert it. Oh wait, there it is right there. Okay. That looks like it right there. Yeah, there's definitely something right here. So let's bring this into the picture a little bit better here. Yeah. Really should look at that log and see if I can figure out what that error message means. It's happening pretty much every time I do a left or right adjustment, an azimuth adjustment. That pops up nearly every single time. Okay, let's see what this one will give us. Alright. So we'll give that a minute. NGC 3953. Let's see what this says. NGC 3953. Barred spiral galaxy. Redshift, apparent size. So just a barred spiral. Well, the image they have in Wikipedia is certainly a better image than what Stellarium has, which doesn't have much. Yeah, that absolutely looks much nicer than that, which looks like nothing. But this actually is a pretty cool. This actually has some pretty. I mean, even on the first sub-exposure, you can see the pretty arms on this one. So, wonderful. Nice little surprise there. Let's go ahead and stretch the heck out of this. And let me also resynchronize the scope on there. Let's get the software out of the way. And I think you can see down here we've got another couple of galaxies. We've definitely got what looks like a barred galaxy down here, and another very faint one in here. This whole area of the sky is just lousy with galaxies, which is why I like this part of I like astronomy season so much. Galaxy season, excuse me, because there's just all kinds of them in here. It's just such a dense area. Let me make sure that... Yeah, I think that's looking about right. Again, let me know if the background music is sounding about right. All of my audio reset on me this evening. All the audio settings in my broadcast software decided to completely reset themselves to random settings. So, and use random microphones that aren't even part of the setup. So I had to reset some things. So let me know if everything still sounds okay. But this is a very pretty galaxy. We're looking at it at a nice balance between not flat on and not on the edge, and just kind of a nice 45-degree angle it looks like. And some nice detail in those arms. It's really pretty sweet. Zoom in a little bit. Give you guys a little bit better of a... You can see there's pockets of fuzzy pockets in here. This here is probably a star in our galaxy. This here is probably a star in our galaxy. They're much sharper and brighter. But these fuzzy bright blobs, they are most probably pockets of star formation. Bright, intense star formation going on in this galaxy. I don't think Wikipedia said. No, Wikipedia doesn't say much about it. It says what the redshift is, but it doesn't really say how far away it is. I definitely have the yawns tonight. You can tell I'm starting much later now. Now that this is my first broadcast after the time change. And while most people think the time change is really cool because you get a lot more light in the early evening, for us astronomers it's not so good because it means we have to hang around an extra hour before it gets dark enough to be able to do our thing. And when you combine that with the fact that as we get closer and closer to summer and into the summer solstice, the sun is also setting later and later and later. So while in the wintertime we can be out here at 5:30, 6 o'clock getting our live streams started, getting our astronomy sessions started. In the summertime, it's 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night before we can get started. Now tonight I started at 9. Probably could have started as early as 8:30, but it wasn't completely dark, so really about 9 o'clock now, and you know, that's what the sun's setting at 7. By the time we get into June, it'll be setting at least an hour later than that, so I won't be able to start much before 10 o'clock here before too long. But anyway, trials and tribulations of being an astronomer. But this is a very pretty little galaxy. Very pretty little galaxy. both flipped. Boing, boing. Yeah, we'll just continue. We'll just basically work our way through all these over the course of the next couple of months. However many we can get in per session. Try to only spend about 10 minutes on each one. Some will spend less. If it's just going to be a little fuzzball, we probably won't spend more than a couple of minutes, a few minutes on it. When it's got some nice little detail like this one does, that's worth the extra time. Because that's just really pretty. All those fine wispy arms. That's pretty cool. And it's got a nice bright core too. You can see the barredness there with the two, like almost the tadpole tails swirling off here and here, and then all the pretty lacy arms that splay off. Very cool. Now we'll give this another minute and then we'll move on to our next. Yeah, and then like I said, there's a couple of galaxies down here that are pretty cool. Let's see if I can find out what they are. Not really indicating much, huh? Okay. Stop doing that. It's that one. It's that one, not that one. Okay. Pretty. Okay. Very good. That is just a gorgeous little one. Okay. Next, we'll add this. Highlight, go. And I gotta do that so I go in the right direction. Yeah, what the heck? We'll go up and see it. See if it's worth sticking with. I don't see it, but we moved so little that we've got to be pretty much right on it. So I will just assume we are. We're not making very big moves here, so we should be pretty much dead on the things that we're slewing to. Thanks for stopping by, Ted. Really appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your evening. See what this first image pulls in. I couldn't see anything in the initial there's not even a picture here. Not even a picture. We'll see what we can see here in a few seconds. Poof! Yeah! Wow! Not only that, not only is it there, it's got some friends. We've definitely got a couple more galaxies in here, so yeah, we'll definitely spend a little time on this. Look at that, another pretty spiral. Yeah, I think we'll spend a little time on that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Alright. We'll give that a few minutes. Okay, 3917. NGC 3917. NGC 3917. Let's see what we've got here. M109 group. Doesn't seem to be a any listing in 3917. Yeah, doesn't seem to be any listing in the in Wikipedia. Now there is an M109 group. Yeah. Alright, deck, redshift, apparent magnitude, yeah. So, it doesn't really say it. It's considered part of the M109 group. So, as the ones we were looking at before were in the M81 group, this one is considered in the M109 group. And where is 109? There's 106. There's 108 out here. I don't know where 109 is. But we should do M108. We should at least do all the Messier galaxies that are in this region. But this one is really nice, and just this little sliver of a spiral galaxy that we're seeing here, just probably completely edge on. But it's very sharp. Stands out really nice. Thanks for stopping by, Jeff. Work tomorrow, huh? Saturday workers. Wow. Well, you have a good time with that. Get some sleep, and I might be doing my next live stream actually tomorrow night. So, stay tuned. I may be back tomorrow night. Usually, I don't do 2 nights in a row, but in this case, it's tonight and tomorrow night are looking really nice, and then the next few days after that is looking kind of crappy. So I may pull a double shift tonight and tomorrow night, and then take a few days off, because it's looking like the clouds are going to be moving in. We're going to be really warm here. We're actually going to be in the 90s. It was probably a little bit over 90 today. And it's supposed to be 90 all weekend and right through Monday, so we're in kind of a tropical flow right now in this area. And that means warm weather, and it also means more moisture in the atmosphere and more clouds. So look at that. That is just a little. That's a pretty one. Almost getting some detail now in the outer parts of this. But you can see these other galaxies clear as a bell. Clear as a bell. Stretch out a little bit more. Almost getting a hint of some detail in that galaxy. That's pretty nice. Fun. Oh, cool. That was a nice surprise seeing those two. 3, I guess I should say. Let's see what's next. So we did that one. Oh yes, I wanted to go to M108. The surfboard. Messier object. We should do all the Messier objects. Especially if it's a galaxy during galaxy season. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Well, that's good enough. Let's just do it right there as is. Okay. M108. Okay. Let's take a look and see what M108 just pulls up a howitzer, so Messier 108. Let's try that. There we go. Barred spiral in Ursa Major, discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1781 or 82. From the Earth, this galaxy is seen almost edge-on. It's an isolated member of the Ursa Major cluster in the local supercluster. It has a morphological classification. It's a barred spiral galaxy with somewhat loosely wound arms. The maximum angular size is 11 arcseconds by 4.6. And inclines 75 degrees to the line of sight. So we're looking at, actually reminds me a lot of M82. It's sort of its clumpy, textured look. Very clumpy. Very dark, sharp, dark lanes in it. Pretty cool though. definitely has some character. While this is building, I'm going to go grab a tissue and blow my nose. Be right back. Alright. And also got another layer on, so just started to cool off a little bit. But definitely a very interesting galaxy. And you can see why it's called the Surfboard Galaxy. Definitely has that shape. Definitely has that shape going on. give this about another few seconds here. Pull in 9 minutes. Oh, this clearly is that spot right there is not a star. It's too fuzzy. That looks like another galaxy there. Just now, and here's one right out here on the very edge. It's another galaxy. Cool. No, surfboard galaxy. All right. So that's M108. Okay. And now we did 39. Okay, yeah, so I need to add, and highlight, and then we did 3917. So I need to add and highlight. And let's go, okay, and then, oh, there's 109. I don't know why I couldn't see it before. So back to the underside of Ursa Major. And now we'll get 109. Looks like it's right there, I think. I'm seeing it right. Yeah, and of course we need to do the flip and flip. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that is it. Okay, good. Well, let's start the imaging on M109. It's going to be another pretty spiral. On the underside of the bucket of the Big Dipper. So just on the underside of the bucket. Let's see. Let's see what. Messier 109. Go. Barred spiral exhibiting a. Oh my goodness! Yeah, look at that. We're also very, very close to Fecta. In fact, we're so close that this really bright star is kind of blowing out our image a little bit. So we can deal with that. We're just gonna expand it off to the side. Oh, and look at that. Look at who else pops into view here. Another galaxy right there. In fact, another one down here. Just a little tiny one right down there. But again, a really fine, wispy detail in this galaxy. Magnitude, velocity, redshift. So this one is somewhere in the 80 to 90 million light year range. So this one's quite a bit further away than what we've been looking at to this point. This one's not in a local group. This one's 80 plus million light years away. So it's probably fairly sizable. Now, why is it called the vacuum cleaner galaxy? What about this is a vacuum cleaner? I don't know. Any of you guys know? Not sure what the vacuum cleaner name is about. But it's definitely a pretty one. Definitely a barred spiral. That nice bar going right through it here. And then the wispy spiral arms. Quite beautiful. Try and get the glare of that bright star out of the picture. Oh, and we're being photobombed by another satellite. When the next sub-exposure comes in, that streaky line will probably be continued across the rest of the image. Very sharp and contrasty, though. Beautiful, beautiful galaxy. Yep, there's the rest of that satellite trail filled in nicely. Luckily I've missed our target. But that's definitely a pretty one. Interesting shapes. See how our histogram is here. A little bit more of a boost to the left. Now as a little bit more detail starts coming in as we collect more sub-exposures, you can see the fine wispy arms. Some of them are a little clumpy. This one here has actually got some clumpy spots. And again, most likely that is pockets of star formation that create just big pockets of high energy activity going on. Most of the arms still look pretty smooth and fine, but This one's got a little bit of bumpiness in it. This one's got quite a bit of bumpiness in it. Hey, Gary. Good evening. Are you just in from doing some photometry? Going pretty well out here. I don't know how you're doing down there, but up here we got into the 90s today, and it's supposed to be in the 90s all weekend, so got some really gorgeous, warm, calm air here. So I may be out again tomorrow night, although I know you have something tomorrow night, right? But I may actually, seems to me I've noticed on cloudy nights you have, I think, something tomorrow night scheduled. And, but for me, and probably for you as well down there in San Diego, tonight and tomorrow night are looking really good. But then it's going to be basically tropical flow for the rest of the week. So normally I don't try and do 2 nights in a row, but given that the rest of the week is looking kind of non-optimal, I may end up doing tomorrow night as well, and then packing it in for the rest of the week. So yeah, I'll have to see what time is your live stream. Maybe I can just avoid the times you're doing. Isn't yours like 8 to 10 or something like that? Gosh, I would hate to start as late as 10 o'clock though. I'm pushing it already for me, starting it at 9. I can probably snag a nap in the middle of the day. Maybe I can just start at 10 right after yours gets done. Oh, you've had lots of clouds? Well, the last couple of days have been, but today is really nice. This evening is absolutely stunning here. Warm and no clouds, and it's just been gorgeous. But, what are we at here? We're at 11 minutes, so you know what? It's time to get ready for us. So that's M109. That's the vacuum cleaner galaxy, although I still don't know what the vacuum cleaner is about. But that is M109. What a gorgeous little galaxy that is. But onward and upward. Okay, so we need to add that to our list. Add bookmark, highlight, move on. So we keep track of what we've seen and what we haven't. Okay, NGC 4026. Let's move on to 4026. Okay, so there it is right there. Let's move it a little bit into the... a little bit closer there. That's about perfect. It's right about here. So let's fire up on that, get our sequence going, and start our 60-second exposures on that. So let's get in here and let me synchronize on that now that I have it centered in my view. And while that's coming in, let's look up NGC 4026. Let's see. NGC 4026. Let's see if Wikipedia has anything interesting to say about it. NG is an edge-on lenticular galaxy in the constellation Ursa Major, located a distance of about 50 million light years, which, given its apparent dimensions, indicates it's about 80,000 light years across. Yeah, it's kind of a nice little... Oh boy, and there's a whole bunch of others in here too. There's a whole bunch of other galaxies in here. This is going to be one of those, how many galaxies can we find in one image? Boy, there's a bunch. There's even a couple up here, I think. Cool. Well, let's see where we get to. But yeah, definitely a very bright guy in here. Let's get the software out of the way and see, let this come in, if nothing else, just for all the other galaxies that are around here. Definitely looks like one up there. Definitely one here. Definitely one here. Definitely one here. Little wisp of something there. Can't tell what it is. Inconclusive there. That's a nice puff of something. We'll have to see as more sub-exposures come in how many more galaxies pop out here. So this is 80,000 light years across, which is a little bit smaller than the Milky Way. The Milky Way is somewhere between 100 and 120,000 light years across, and this is 80. This galaxy hosts a supermassive black hole with an estimated mass of a very big number, which I guess is, if it says supermassive, that kind of gives it away. It's pretty big deal. It also belongs to the M109 group, the largest subgroup of galaxies with the Ursa Major cluster. It's in the vicinity of NGC 4026 lies some low surface brightness spiral galaxies. 28 arc minutes, quarter of a degree. Yeah, see, so I think most of those UGC 6917, UGC 6922, UGC 6956, which is probably some of these right in here that we've been pointing out. These guys in here are probably exactly what what they're talking about here. Definitely some galaxies popping out. So you're doing a whole lot of math, huh? More time with the calculator than the scope, I take it. Yeah, you are doing 8 to 10. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, well, maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe I'll try and do a later thing. If I can get a nap in, that would work. If I can get a nap in the afternoon. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. How's the stretch? I think we're doing okay. Give it a little more of a pop. Make those faint little galaxies pop out a little more. Although clearly 4026 is standing out nicely. While this builds in, I'm going to go blow my nose again. Definitely tell that spring is in the air. Even out here in the desert, things are blooming. And I definitely tell on my nose. Be back in a minute. 4 days of analysis for 1 day of imaging. Wow. I would not find that fun. I like seeing stuff. I don't know. I don't like the calculator work so much. Making my brain hurt, but it's interesting. Never would have thought I could measure star magnitudes to better than 1/10 of a mag. Yeah. It is interesting stuff. I just don't think it's for me. Definitely some interesting little galaxies here, but the 4026 is definitely a very bright one. No doubt about it. Definitely a very bright object. Certainly compared to the other much fainter galaxies. And that's in fact the Wikipedia mentioned the surface brightness. So this is a great lesson in contrast of surface brightness. The surface brightness of 4026 is very high. It's extremely bright and intense. Whereas the surface brightness of these other ones, and you can see actually this one now is a barred spiral. You can see the bar here and then the spiral arms kicking off. But its surface brightness is very low. It's a very faint and distributed brightness. Probably an acquired taste. You know, different strokes for different folks, or different horses for different courses, you know, whatever your favorite phrase is. You know, some people really love the analysis. They like doing all the math. You know, and there are people who in the imaging world love to do take all hours and hours of data collection with their cameras and then spend dozens and dozens of hours in Photoshop and tweaking and tuning those images that they took of whatever celestial objects and turning them into pieces of art. There are just people who love doing that, spending that time just tweaking and tuning things. And again, that's not my taste. I'd rather be out live looking at stuff than working in Photoshop and PixInsight, etc., and turning it into a piece of art. But there are people who just love that stuff, and you know, like solving puzzles. You do your data collection, and then you go inside and you find out all the answers to the puzzle. So well, I can understand how it can be appealing. I just like looking at stuff too much to be wasting time inside trying to analyze it. But so there is 4026. That is a pretty cool one. Lenticular, not much shape to it, but interesting nonetheless. But let's move on to the next one. So we got that. Boom, add it in. And who's next? 4088. Now this is in blue. I mean, it's an active or interacting galaxy. So let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, right there. Okay. We're making such short hops now with all of these moves that I don't typically have to worry about it not being pretty well in my field of view. So don't really have to worry about that too much. And Stellarium doesn't seem to have much going on. I don't think it has an image at all. Looks like that's just an image of a couple of stars. So this one will be a surprise. Yeah, I have not. Yeah, it has been a while since your last EAA session. I haven't seen one in quite a while from you guys, so I assume you and Dave are. This is going to be you and Dave doing it. This isn't just going to be Gary and Joy. This will be you and Dave, huh? And probably Joy as well. But oh, look at that. That is kind of an interesting galaxy, and obviously a companion right here. Maybe that's what they're assuming is interacting about it. Maybe those two are somehow gravitationally bound. We'll see what Wikipedia has to say. 4088. Let's do this. NGC 4088. NGC 4088. An intermediate spiral galaxy in Ursa Major forms a physical pair with NGC 4085, which is located 11 arc seconds away. Right? Yeah. So this is down here is NGC 4085. So they are a physical pair. It's a grand design spiral. This means that the spiral arms in the galaxy's disk are sharply defined. In visible light, one of the spiral arms appears to have a disconnected segment, which is this up here. Interesting that it says in visible light, as opposed to, I guess, infrared. Halt and Arp included this galaxy in the Galaxy Atlas of Peculiar Galaxies, one of several examples where this phenomenon occurs. NGC 4088 and 4085 are members of the M109 group, which is what we're kind of looking at. We've been looking at for a little bit here. This large group contains between 40 and 60 galaxies, including, of course, 109. On April 13th, 2009, a supernova was discovered in 4088. Okay. And there was also one in 1991. So supernovas have been discovered in this sucker. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's about right. It actually looks a little bit blown out, so I think I'm going to back off just a titch on the stretch. Just to get a little more of that detail. Yeah, you can see this for up here certainly is the disconnected arm they're talking about. There's a whole bunch of wispy, almost like a jet of wispy material flinging off here too. Baby Joe will come, but at the moment she's looking after her chicks. She has 8 chicks, huh? Wow. What is she gonna do with 8 chicks? You guys aren't gonna start raising chickens, are you? Or are these ducks, or what are they? I think when you came to Pahrump, she had her guinea pig with her, right? So, obviously you're teaching her to love the animals. Reminds me of a trident, actually, with the 1, 2, and 3 prongs, and this is the staff, and kind of an upside-down trident. Going to a friend that, yes, that's Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter. Is that the name of the guinea pig? Is that what the Harry Potter comment meant? I don't think I ever... I met the guinea pig, but I don't think I ever knew what his name was. Going to a friend when they get bigger. Okay. Well, let's hope there's not going to be too much separation, fallout from that when they get bigger. Hope she doesn't get too attached to them, or you might have some of them permanently. The guinea pig is named Harry Potter. Okay. I didn't know. Funny. A very peculiar galaxy indeed. Wonder how far apart those two galaxies actually are. Getting fuzzier and fuzzier. Kind of interesting. Quite an interesting shaped galaxy with its companion. Oh, actually, there's another one right here, huh? Look at that. Another one right there. Those are probably not terribly close together. Actually, there's one right here too. A little tiny wisp of a spiral in there. Or a barred galaxy of some kind. Actually, there's quite a few in here. Good grief, look at this. A lot of these. You can tell these here are sharp. They're sharp-edged. They're obviously stars. And those would be in our local galaxy. But then there's all these really fine, small, wispy things that are here that are clearly not stars, and there's so many of them in here. Some of them are so small that you can't really tell one way or the other, but some of them definitely have some shape to them. Yeah. Yes. Well, hopefully the girls will be able to let go of those chicks when the time comes. Or you might have to start building a coop in your backyard. But yes, this is definitely a very interesting shaped galaxy. In fact, did they call this it's an intermediate spiral. They do actually call it a spiral. I don't get a whole lot of spiral from what I'm seeing, but from the Hubble image, I guess it's a little bit clearer. Definitely interesting. If these two are interacting, then this one here has been pulled out of shape, and this one doesn't look like it has been at all. I wonder if they passed through each other. I wonder if the little one passed through the big one and whacked it all out. Yeah, there are going to be tears indeed. And you may not have an ally in the house either. They back each other up and don't let you get rid of them. Cool. Well, there's 10 minutes. Alright, that's pretty good. Definitely an interesting one there. I recall that from last year. I imaged it last year. Alright, add that there. Highlight in. Alright, and who's next? Let's go to 4100. Boink. Okay, yeah, there it is right there. Alright, fire it up. Go. Alright, let's see if we have any info on this one. Again, no image in Stellarium. 4100. Nice round number like that. NGC 4100. Why isn't my keyboard? Oh, I know. You gotta do this. Like, there we go. My keyboard lighting went out. It's very handy when you're out in the dark, using a computer with a lighted keyboard. Okay, no, it doesn't really. It just says it's a spiral galaxy in Ursa Major, discovered by William Herschel. So, in 1788. It doesn't really say what the distance is. Yeah, it is a pretty little spiral, though. Yeah, definitely got some. We'll definitely be able to see some detail in the spiral as we collect data. Gary, how are my sound levels? OBS decided to completely reset all of the audio settings randomly. It was using a microphone that I don't even have, and the background music, all the levels were reset, so looks to me like maybe my mic is a little too hot. So let me know how I sound. I could probably just move the mic away from my mouth a little bit. That probably will help some. But I think this is going to be a pretty one when we get few more subs in. I think it's going to be able to see those. Okay, cool. Well, I just moved the mic away. I'm getting the levels in OBS were indicating my mic was kind of getting blown out a little bit, so I just moved it away from my mouth a tiny bit. Good. I think, yeah, I thought I had remembered where I moved, what I had the level for the music set to, because when I first started it was set to full blast, and it was just way too loud. I spent hours yesterday updating this machine, mostly Windows updates. And I'll just move this away. Move my mic away a little bit. But I spent hours updating my machine, and most of it was a Windows update and Windows 10 update, and I've gotten in the practice now after my last few sessions. I don't know if you've were listened in on my last few sessions, but I definitely struggled. My control computer was just running really, really slowly, and so I ended up being late for to start a couple of my sessions because it took me forever just to do flats because the computer was running so slowly. And so now I've restarted the practice of the day before I do a session, especially if I haven't done a session for at least a few days or a week or more, to fire the laptops up, manually update everything I can update, and just make sure everything is up to snuff, so that when I actually have the next night, I'm just running normally. And tonight went very smoothly because I spent all that time yesterday. But man, it took hours just to update Windows took hours. It's been, now of course it's been a couple of weeks. This is my first session of this dark of the moon cycle, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've used it. But still, it took hours and hours to update everything. It was just crazy. So yeah, I don't know how I got on that topic, but it's a practice that I'm now doing, and if and the last couple of sessions, last dark of the moon cycle, I didn't do it, and I paid the price for it. So, lesson learned. But yeah, now we're starting to see some of the detail in here. There's a little bit of the dark lanes or just around some of the spiral arms. Just a little bit of the dark laning going on there. Yeah, I can zoom in a bit more. At this point, we're basically getting the pixels of the camera showing up, and it's still a little bit grainy, but you can definitely see the dark lanes between the spiral arms, the swirls that are in here. And as we continue to get more sub-exposures in, this will continue to clean up. No, I did not join Doug's marathon because let's see, I think we had clouds here, but I wasn't terribly interested in it anyway because it was a 50% moon in the sky or some crazy thing. It was like out during the first quarter moon, which is a silly time to be doing a Messier marathon, but so I wasn't all that interested. I have beautifully dark skies here, but that is completely defeated by having a 50% moon in the sky, which basically puts me at about Bortle 5 skies. So it's I didn't find it worthwhile for me to do it, and so I didn't join in. And as it turned out, I believe we had clouds here anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. But no, I did not join in. Hopefully next year he can, if he schedules it during the actual dark of the moon, then I would be happy to join in. But I will be doing the, they're just going to be doing a regular, just a regular Zoom meeting, a global Zoom meeting. So we're going to have folks on from Europe and all the way, to the U.S., etc., etc. And so it'll be like 11 p.m. when it starts over in Europe, but it'll only be 4 p.m. over here for us. So it'll be a complete daytime here for us, but it'll be nice to chat with people. Like you said, it was nice to chat with everything. However, so I didn't join in as an astronomer, but I did try and join in. Wasn't on Zoom, but I think I tried monitoring or listening in on the Facebook rebroadcast, and all it showed me was kind of this picture of a scope sitting in a yard in the dark, and nothing was really happening. So I don't know if I just timed it badly and there was just nothing happening when I happened to log on and watch it, but I looked at it for several minutes and just nothing happened. So I did try and get on, but I didn't get anywhere. I guess I should have just signed up for the Zoom and actually gone in on Zoom, because then I could have chatted with folks. But anyway, I'm hoping to be on the Zoom that they've got coming up here. I forget when it is. I think it's this month sometime. Looking forward to doing that. Just to put faces and voices with the avatars that we chat with all the time and have been doing so for years on cloudy nights. So that'll be kind of nice to do that. Yeah, that's what I think happened. I think I just tuned in at the wrong time. But yeah, this is actually turning out pretty nice. Just about to come up to our 10th minute here, so almost time to move on to the next one. I'll probably just do a couple of more. Probably just do a couple of more here. So there's 10 minutes. But I think that came out pretty well. You can definitely see the spiral in it and the central core. So that came out pretty good. So let's see what's next. I'll try and do a couple of more here, but I've got a hike in the morning, so I got to be up a little bit early. Not real early, but a little bit early. So I don't want to be out here too late tonight, especially with me doing probably another one tomorrow night, with another hike on Sunday even earlier. So here in the desert we take advantage of the cooler weather. So there it is right there. Let's get it started. Boom. Here in the desert we're the opposite of most people. For most people, the summer is the really active season and the winter is the fairly sedentary season. For us here in the desert, it's just the opposite. We get out and we're all active in the wintertime. This is when we're hiking and we're biking and we're out and we're active and doing things. And then in the summertime is when we hide out. So it's so I got hikes all weekend. But anyway, I'm going to try and do a session tonight, and like I said, probably tomorrow night as well, because the rest of the week is looking like crap for weather. So, and well, thanks for stopping in, Gary. Appreciate it. House hunting. Oh my! So you might be moving. Well, that's true. I mean, with all the chickens you're going to be owning, you better buy something more farm-like, because you're going to need to build a coop, and you know, maybe you can find a place that already has a chicken coop. Then you guys will be all set. But seriously, good night, Gary. Thanks for stopping in. I think I'm going to do another object or two, and then I'll probably pack it in here. But thanks for being here. Good chatting with you, as always. And here's another one with a bunch of galaxies in it. We've got a couple of fuzzies down here that certainly look like... And one up here too. This fuzzball up here looks like it's definitely got galaxy potential. Yep. That's definitely something right up in here. That's not a star. Definitely a fuzzy patch around that. And there's definitely wispies down here. Oh, good. Looking for something in the country. Get out of those get away from those Bortle 8 skies. You know, if you can get it down to Bortle 5 or 6, it'll be a huge improvement for you. That would be cool. Thanks, Gary. Good night. Appreciate you coming. Been adjusting my histogram much. Clipping the blacks a little bit. Ooh, yeah, Bortle 5, that would be sweet. That would make a big difference for you, that's for sure. Looks like in this view we only got about only 4 galaxies that I can see. Obviously our main target here, but then we got one here, another one here, and another one way up here. Yeah, that one is probably one as well, but it's so small it's hard to tell. But it's definitely a fuzzball as opposed to a sharply defined star. That's a fuzzball there. And if we zoom in on our main target here, definitely see some swirls in there. Let's look up and see what this is. 4157. NGC 4157. No entry. Okay. Got nothing on this one. Wikipedia does not have an entry on this one. Again, you can see some dark lanes in here where the arms swirl around a little bit, top and bottom. Looking at it almost completely edge on. So, kind of interesting. But you can still see some dark lanes there. And some clumpy areas too. A couple of bright clumps in here where there are probably areas of star formation or intense something's going on in there. Cool. Well, that's pretty good. We got 9 minutes on that. I think that works pretty well for that one. Not going to see a whole lot more detail anyway. So let's go and we'll do one more here. Add it. Add. Highlight. Go. And well, let's do 40. Is that 4096? Let's do 4096. See how this one goes. $40.96, yeah, right there, perfect. Doink. Alright, we'll let that build in. Do we have a picture for this one? Nope, again, no picture. Just a pair of stars. Clump of little stars. Okay, so another mystery. And I'll just pre-mark this. So next time what'll happen is, now I know, now we have an indication of what ones we've seen so far. And the reason I highlight them is because when we look out here we can see everything with a blue circle we've seen, and anything without a blue circle we haven't. So we will continue to work our way across this whole field of galaxies here, and see all the ones that we've seen and all the ones that we haven't. So that's kind of my little system in Stellarium, as to how I, as we view them, I just add them to the bookmarks function, and then highlight all the bookmarks in there, which highlights everything we've seen, and then we don't accidentally repeat. This is a pretty nice little one. Definitely some wispy detail again in this. Alright, cool. Well, we'll see what a few sub-exposures do for that. What is this, 4096 did I say? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, 4096. Alright, let's see if Wikipedia has an entry for this. 096. NGC 4096. There is no entry. 4095. But no 4096. Interesting. 4095 is a kind of a boring elliptical. This one is a much more interesting shape. Didn't even know what 4095 is. You would think it would be close to 4096, but apparently not. Oh well, there you are. Coma Berenices, well, that's pretty close. Oh, it's out here, 4095 is out here in Coma Berenices. 4096 is over here by Ursa Major. I guess they... I don't know. Were they... Was that the order they were found? Probably. The higher numbers are fainter. Screen. Definitely a pretty one though. Definitely some interesting detail in this one. Again, spirally arms. the central core appears to be off-center, at least from our perspective. An irregular shape. Hard to tell. Definitely interesting, though. I'm definitely getting the yawns now. This will definitely be my last object. Take a few more minutes on this, but getting late for me, and I got a hike in the morning, so a bike and a hike. So I definitely gotta sleep fast. But the weather is just so gorgeous tonight that it was just couldn't miss tonight. It's just absolutely gorgeous here. Warm, calm, clear, just beautiful. Tomorrow night is looking pretty darn similar, so I will probably be back tomorrow night as well. We will see. Make that call in the morning. Definitely some nice detail in this, though. Yeah, that actually I think might have made it too much. We'll drop that back some more. I think I have a neighbor running a vacuum cleaner or some crazy thing. You guys can probably hear it on the microphone. I don't know what it is, a leaf blower? At 11:30 at night? Craziness. I'm just about done here anyway. Just take these last 30 seconds to get to 10 minutes on this, and then I think it's a night for me. But some cool galaxies, and like I said, tomorrow night I'll probably do it all again, and we'll go for another handful of galaxies and work our way across that whole region over these next couple of months. So there's 10 minutes. Very cool. Very cool. Alright, well, anyway, I think I will call it a night. So, thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate you being here. And, like I said, stay tuned. I probably will be doing something tomorrow night as well. But, I'll definitely let you know. In the meantime, have a great night, everybody, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for coming.